Get ready for the time of your life at Circa Resort and Casino, Las Vegas's newest destination for fun, featuring the world's biggest poolside tailgate party with 3 levels of action, 6 pools, and a 143-foot screen. The fun is always on deck with all the games all year long. Stadium Swim, located in downtown Las Vegas on Fremont Street. Book the time of your life today at CircaLasVegas.com.
Well, a little late, but we're happy Friday to you. Bronco Nation News Live. BJ Rains, Bronco Nation News. Jay Tust, Sports Director at KTVB for our weekly Friday segment here. And Jay, we have a good reason that we're a little delayed today. The first spring football practice in the books. And I was actually excited. Usually the way the schedule lines up, we're at the Mountain West tournament for the first spring practice. And so to be able to be there today, and we talked to Coach Avalos yesterday, it was fun to get out there and watch football practice, and we'll talk football today. We'll talk basketball as well with the game tomorrow. We'll hear from George Holani, Scott Matlock, Leon Rice. We got a lot to pack into 30 minutes here, man, but it was fun to get out there on the indoor and watch some football today.
Yeah, if I'm going to be honest with you, which I always am, this won't be a popular take, but I don't know how excited I am for spring football. Like what? I mean, like I am excited to talk about it and all that totally. But it does feel a little bit different this year. You know, it does feel a little bit different this year with how well the basketball team is doing. And I always joke around with my Seattle Mariners, right? Like, hey, get me through the dog days of summer, just make it to football season, and then hand it off to the Seattle Seahawks, right? And if they never make the playoffs, but if they can just entertain me, you know, till the end of August, I'm good. And so I always, you know, joke around like that's kind of the feel maybe with the Boise State basketball team. Like, hey, get us to spring ball. But right now, I feel like I kind of still feel like, you know, they got my attention. I know they got your attention, and now, you know, days like today, we're forced to split our attention and check out the Broncos on the gridiron. So yeah. I'm joking around for the most part here, but it's crazy that it's already here. I'll say that. That's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It kind of snuck up on us with the interviews this week and the first practice. And there are some years where you're counting down this day because the basketball teams, you know, not really in contention or whatever. And I think it snuck up on fans too that there's, you know, so yeah, sure. We wish it was maybe 3 or 4 weeks down the road because by the time this team's done with basketball season, spring football is going to be halfway over. So yeah, it is a little disappointing the way it overlaps like this, but I guess that's a good problem to have. And we were out there today, Jay, at practice around the first spring practice. Ashton Jeanty for me was one of the highlights. Here he is right here. You just see his size. What were some of your just initial observations from practice today?
Ashton Jeanty, kind of a thick lower half, if you will, for being such a young kid. You know, he was also going early in the lines, and I know that we probably shouldn't read too much into that right now, but it just shows that he's not going to be bashful as he goes out there and tries to make a name for himself and tries to carve out a role of competing as a true freshman. This won't come across as any crazy take, but it, you know, caught my eye that, you know, Casey Klein's over there now at tight ends. Like, I know we got the updated roster a couple weeks ago, but it's still kind of eye-catching to see him wearing 28 over working with the tight ends. And you look at that group without Riley Smith, man, that is an inexperienced group. Nate Potter is going to have his work cut out for him. Maybe the only positive, BJ, without Riley taking all the first team snaps, a lot of those guys are going to get a chance to get a lot of experience this spring. So maybe that helps that group out a little bit.
Yeah, no Ty Nealhopper out there to start the beginning of spring either. So, yeah, you had some – I was having to go pretty far down the roster to find out who some of those numbers were at the tight end position. But
totally. Will Hall and I were joking around with each other like, man, we might need to get a roster before next practice. Normally we're around these guys so much, you can pretty much recite the team by number. But yeah,
I did notice. I will say this,
group.
Jay. Here's the tight end. So we didn't line up our pre-show meeting. We didn't line up exactly the timing for our B-roll or whatever it's called of the tight ends here. But I noticed Nate Potter was really into the technical, and look at him. He's really getting down there and coaching these guys. And I know it's his first actual on-field practice as the tight ends coach with this group. So everybody coaches it a little differently. Everything's a little different. I noticed with the 4 new coaches, Bonifay was doing it too. I mean, it seems like these guys today was really about teaching.
Yeah, man, Nate was, as you can see, pretty hands-on. I mean, he really gets after it. It's funny, when Nate was a player here, like, he was a quieter guy. And maybe that's just the way that he was around the media. I don't know. But he was kind of a quieter guy. So to see him kind of in his element today, getting after it, was kind of cool. And you even bring up Keith Bonifay, who's back at Boise State again, coaching running backs after 8 seasons up at UW. Just kind of a different feeling with him out there, man. Like, you know his background. You know how good he is at coaching that position. He just kind of has a presence out there, it seems like. And I know that's kind of funny to say as for a running backs coach, but you just seeing the way that he goes to work, man, like, he just kind of has a presence about him.
Well, speaking of running backs and Keith Bonifay, George Holani met with the media after practice today. Let's hear a soundbite or two from Boise State's 1,000-yard running back.
I'm really excited for this year, especially for this team and how we will respond this year. It's definitely a new team, and I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Where do you think you can personally grow this year?
Personally, I think I can grow inside the meeting rooms, just learning the fundamentals again and kind of getting back at it with Coach KB.
What's your to-do list this spring? What are things that you want to accomplish, you want to improve on as you look with a new running backs coach?
A big thing for me that I want to improve on is just working on my transitioning on the field, just being able to work on that lateral movement side to side and be able to be more explosive and obviously stay healthy this year.
How frustrating has that been the last couple of years with the health, not being able to get back to that form you had, your freshman year?
It's definitely been difficult for me, but just the way I've been motivated by my teammates and coaches and peers around here, just to continue to stay, humble and continue to go in the trainer's room and continue to get treatment has been really good.
I know sometimes it's bad luck with injuries, there's nothing you can control, but how do you try to make sure you're in the best position you can to play a full season?
Just staying in the trainer's room and trying to eat healthy, fixing my diet, and just trying to stretch more. Yeah.
It's been like working with Coach KB.
It's been really exciting. I mean, I love that dude. He's definitely an experienced coach who's been, who's been here before, and he knows a lot, and I think that he'll definitely help the RBs out this year as a whole.
What are your about Ashton Jeanty in the last couple of months that he's been on campus?
Ashton, that's my guy. I love him. He's obviously a newcomer coming in, and he's definitely working hard out there, and I'm excited for him and what he's going to be able to do for this stable.
You played as a true freshman. There's a good chance he's going to play as a true freshman. What piece of advice would you give him to prepare for that first season?
Just continue to stay humble and hungry. Yes, sir.
Knowing what it takes, though, as a freshman play, I mean, do you see a guy? Think he's a guy that's going to make a big impact for you guys?
I mean, for sure. I think he'll be able to contribute to this team as long as he continues to get in the playbook and learn everything off the field, and then be able to transition onto the field and just learn the basic fundamentals like pass pro and being able to run.
Well, there you go, Jay. And certainly, that's something where he's a guy that I think you're on mute, Jay, by the way. He's a guy that, I think George Holani, at this point, I don't think we can, I hate to say it, but I don't think you can fully pencil him in for 12 games. I mean, he's got to prove that he can play a full season, and they're going to probably need, regardless, you need other backs. But you had Cyrus transfer. You had, Andrew Van Buren transfer. I guess Cyrus is going pro, but you lose two of your key backs. And so a guy like Ashton Jeanty, I think, is going to have a chance to play an immediate role. You're going to need some of these other guys to develop, whether it's Taquan Tyler Crow. I think Danny Smith's still around. I mean, running back position is going to be very interesting, but it all starts with George Holani staying healthy.
Yeah. I mean, you're exactly right on that, BJ. And I will say, when you look at Ashton Jeanty, you kind of get a little bit of a sense of why maybe Boise State didn't hit the transfer portal again to get an older running back. I mean, who's to say they won't do it once things shake out here after spring ball too? I mean, a lot of guys see their writing on the wall when spring ball's over, and they do transfer schools. But you can see, he looks at least like he looks good physically for a freshman. I mean, I think we can't agree upon that. But yeah, I mean, if you can get George healthy for 12, 13 games, like, man, he's going to probably put up 1,800 total yards. I think that they would feel confident in that. But can you get him to that point is a big question mark, I would say. But
Paul says
another thing too, BJ. Sorry, real quick, but Andy's been so adamant about stressing like leveling everything out, right? And that's kind of why you need to get Ashton Genty's feet wet, because George is an upperclassman, Tyler Crow's an upperclassman, Taquan Tyler's an upperclassman. So you need somebody to come from the bottom there and start to really build depth there in order to not solidify just the presence, but give you hope for the future too.
Perry saying, love Holani. JD Price, way to represent. Perry also excited to see Ashton play as well. So a lot of storylines on offense, Jay, that we'll get to over the next month. You have your receiver as well. You have obviously, Hank Bachmeier going into year 4. You've got the tight end position we talked about, the O-line, which is going to be without a couple guys this spring. Let's flip over to defense. We had a chance to talk to Scott Matlock today as well, and he says he's up to 305 pounds, by the way. We played about 290 last year, and it just looks like an absolute tank. What do you make of I guess we'll just go D-line since we're talking to Scott, but, Herbert Gums was a guy we've heard about recently, and some of these other guys, Divine Obacheri. I mean, it seems like this D-line's in a pretty good place this season.
It's funny. Going into last season, BJ, there was a lot of talk about the defensive line. I would use the word hype about the defensive line. They kind of got off to a little bit of a slow start last season before they did settle down and start to play better football, more consistent football. A big game for them was the BYU game. Kind of felt like that was a big turning point in the season, that they could physically hold up against older, more mature players. I also feel like the reason why we had that feeling about the defensive line going into last season was just because it was so damn thin the season prior, right? Like anything in terms of depth would have been better than the season prior. But now I really do feel like all of a sudden they are confident. They've layered it out with, seniors through freshmen. They feel like they have some guys that can make an impact. Again, they hit the transfer portal there. George Tarlis, Shane Irwin, they're going to be dynamic. I really think they're going to play well off of each other. Dimitri Washington up front as well. I just feel like they have some options where they will come at offenses in waves the way they used to when this defense was absolutely elite. It was, you hit them with the first string wave, you hit them with the second string wave, in some cases you even hit them with a third string wave, keeping everybody fresh and holding up that high standard that Andy Avalos and the defensive staff wants.
Well, here's a quick bite from Scott Matlock talking about what it's like being back on the practice field today.
Feels good, it's been a while, but the time has flown and it's like we're already playing football again, and it's good to get out there and compete with the guys and put our training onto the field.
7-5 last year and stuff. I mean, that's going to be the offseason storyline, trying to just obviously get back to that championship level. Andy said it was kind of like, I feel like you guys miss Christmas with the way you're training. Like, you guys have a purpose. I mean, do you feel like the chip's back on the shoulder of you guys?
Yeah, no doubt. We definitely have something to prove. Last season was rough, and that was not Boise State football, and that's obviously we continue to refer back to that. And, we're going to learn from the things we did wrong, and improve on the things we did well, and just take it day by day and just keep getting better at an individual level.
What do you like about what the defense did last year, and what will be on your to-do list to improve as a group?
I thought our defense, we just played hard. We were relentless. We stayed in the fight a lot of games. We did a good job. Some games, we kind of got lost, and we were undisciplined at times, and nothing's going to be perfect, but I thought we did a good job just competing, and playing out there, playing hard. But no, we always will have things to clean up and things to get better at. I think that we can just be overall, like more dominant, a little less inconsistent. Maybe like one game being very good, on the defensive side, and the next game maybe not so good. Clean that up, make it more consistent, and just we're one defense all the time, and that's what you're going to get. So better be ready. So.
What about yourself? Is there anything you'd really like to improve this spring?
I'd like to improve everything. I thought I had a decent year last year. I got to keep working. I got to keep building, growing. Just got to do my job to the best of my ability. Be a good teammate, be accountable, and be disciplined and tough. All those things.
Yeah, he's a guy that is very easy to root for, Jay. A lot of people know his story, obviously, and been here 4 or 5 years now, and it's crazy that now he's a guy that Frank Maile is saying could be, one of the best D linemen in the country, so to speak. I mean, he just it's cool for a local guy. Grew up in Boise, went out to Homedale High School. Pretty cool to see Scott doing what he's doing, and he's going to anchor that D line this year, man.
When it comes to Scott, like, he's never going to shed his local ties, or his local title, I guess, because he's going to inspire kids back here in Idaho. But I will say this, when I think of Scott Matlock, I do more think of him now as a Boise State starting defensive lineman than I do a former prep high school football player here in Idaho. I mean, he's really made a name for himself. He's came a long way. He's worked extremely, extremely hard. And above all that stuff, he shows tremendous leadership skills. He now kind of embodies what Frank Maile and that defense wants to be about. And so that's why he's such a crucial part to that team.
Hey, quick shout out, Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com. Hope you'll consider one of them. They got the at-home shopping, the Skip app, 13 locations across the state of Idaho. We really appreciate Ridley's Family Markets. I frequent that Cuno location often. So, again, find the location near you, shopridleys.com. And the Blue and Orange store as well, blueandorangestore.com. If you're looking for that Mountain West tournament gear or that new Nike gear for Boise State, you can shop online, the blueandorangestore.com. Or you can go see them at the Boise Town Square Mall. And if you're heading down to Vegas this weekend or next week, come check us out. Wednesday, March 9th, 7 to 10. We'll be at the Overhang Bar, Circa Resort and Casino, passing out free swag. We'll have some drink specials. There's even rumors, Jay, of a special cocktail designed for the group. So come on down if you're in town. Everyone needs to experience Fremont Street at least once. So Wednesday, March 9th, 7 to 10, the Overhang Bar there at Circa Casino and Resort. And Jay, going to be fun, man, down in Las Vegas, but got to get that game Saturday first. Kind of a unique spot. We were down there talking to Coach Rice yesterday, and you fight for 2.5 months or whatever it is to win the conference title, and they've done that, and yet they still have one kind of, I don't want to say meaningless game, but for them, it really doesn't mean a lot. Obviously, would help keep the momentum going, help the NCAA tournament seeding. But what's your thoughts, man? Mountain West champs, but still got to go play Colorado State tomorrow first.
I think Marcus Shaver summed it up after the last game perfectly. And it was kind of mentioned, like, is he going to be, will Boise State maybe kind of look towards the tournament and let off the gas a little bit against Colorado State? And his response to that was, hell no. And I think this team wants it. I mean, Leon Rice, I thought that we were going to have to ask Leon yesterday, hey, Colorado State's the only team you guys haven't beaten in the Mountain West. Does that motivate you? And 30 seconds into his initial question, he voluntarily brought that up. It is on their minds. I think that despite the fact they're 15-2 in league play, school record 15 wins in conference play, that's regardless of conference affiliation. They're destined for the NCAA tournament. I still feel like they really want this win. I mean, maybe BJ, there's that one inbounds play that you're like, man, this is dynamite. It's going to work at some point in time, and we know we're going to burn Colorado State with it. Maybe maybe you just save it, maybe that's an occasion where that's the one thing. But when it comes to effort, I don't think we're going to see a bunch of dudes play 40 minutes, but I think you're going to see this team go out and do everything they can to win a ball game for sure.
Yeah. And this game does mean something, obviously, for the NCAA tournament seeding. Leon did say he wants to keep the momentum going. Let's hear from Boise State's head coach yesterday, Leon Rice, about how he celebrated that title and moving on to this Colorado State game.
Well, the hard part was it was a weeknight, and I was trying to find some people to celebrate with. But like I told our guys, I mean, I wanted them to be in that moment and enjoy it, and to see that all those people on the court getting to celebrate together, and our guys doing it, and just pure joy in their eyes and their face. And I went back and watched the celebration somewhat because I was running around doing some things, and so I maybe didn't get as dial in, but just to see those guys that happy and that joyful together, and all of them, and it just meant so much. And that's why you felt a pressure to win that game, because of, I knew the kind of moment it could be, and that's a memory that, first of all, you don't get to do that very much. All right, you look around the country because the schedule has to be right, the league stands have to be right. You can't if we win, we're champions, but they have to play one more game. So everything has to come together for you to have those experiences of cutting down the net like that, and in the regular season, and so. And because that's the only time you can do it at home. You win a tournament, you're out on the road, you don't get to do it with all your people, and they, probably don't let them all on the court or that kind of thing. But some of them. Yeah, some of them, I guess. It was just such a moment for them that I was so happy about, and to be able to soak it up and soak it in. But it's also one of those things that we're still going, so we enjoyed that. We enjoyed the finishing the league that way, but we're not finished with the league, and so that takes you back to, all right, we got to keep competing, and you got to recover from this. Now, recovering from that, probably thank God we had an extra day, because we probably needed a little extra time to recover from the emotion of that, because it's unique, and sure, you can't just pretend like, hey, we're moving on right away. You gotta enjoy it and see. But now we gotta recalibrate and stay with our competitiveness and stay with the way we've been playing and the momentum that we have, because momentum is a real thing, and you don't want to lose that. And we know, number one, we're going into a place that is sold out. It's senior night, and they're a great team, and they're the only team we haven't beat in the league, and. They're as good as, they're a top 25 level team, and that's what they are. Whether they're there right now or not, I know what they are. They're great, they got great coaches, great players, and we're going to have to play one of our best games to compete, and that's what it's about for us.
Well, there you go. There's Boise State coach Leon Rice talking about Saturday, and kind of a unique spot. What it means tomorrow, the game doesn't really mean anything, as we said. It kind of does from a perspective of the NCAA tournament, keeping the momentum going. But really, you've already clinched the first seed. You already know who you're playing, the winner of New Mexico and Nevada. Kurt saying, yes, need to keep it going. Perry saying the CSU game is one more step to the whiteboard, or on the whiteboard. They talked about that after the last game. They're kind of climbing the mountain with the ladder, and every game they're going on, and it's the next game on the list. But again, just kind of a weird spot where the game really doesn't mean much for Boise State. It's a huge game for Colorado State. They're trying to get the number 2 seed. They're trying to, finish on senior night with a win. They want to help their NCAA tournament seeding as well. So there's a lot on the line for them. It is what it is. Jay had to get going to high school state tournament, some other things going on. So Jay had to dip out on that, but I'll finish up here for the next little bit. If you have any other questions or comments, please feel free to get those in. Obviously, a lot going on. Boise State football, Boise State basketball. I want to thank United Commercial Insurance, the best in business insurance, unitedcommercialinsurance.com. You can see the phone number there on the screen. Whether you're a new business owner, whether you've had a business for 30 years, they can help you get the best rates and all the different kinds of business insurance out there. So big Boise State fan, Brandon Meinert. So, it's a local company, but they can write policies in 44 states across the country. So pretty much wherever you're watching this from, if you own a business and you want to help a BSU supporter, give them a call. Maybe they can give you a better rate. Maybe they can't. But United Commercial Insurance, 208-229-8222. And as always, want to thank Transportation Compliance Service as well. If you're looking to get into the trucking industry, 1,000 people a day are becoming truck drivers, and all the different steps along the way, your LLC, your DOT number, all your overweight permits, they take you every step of the way and get you out on the road hauling that first load as soon as possible. So they sign up 50 to 70 new accounts a day. And again, another local company here in Meridian, but they are a national company that can help anybody across the country. So transcompservice.com. You can see the website there at the bottom of the screen, transcompservice.com. You can get more information. If you're looking to get into the trucking industry, just give them a call and they'll be happy to help you out. So again, Boise State plays tomorrow. We got the comments coming in. Carson wanting to know any chance we can get a NCAA tournament game closer to Boise. Yeah, I saw the Joe Lenardi projection. He had him playing in Greenville, South Carolina. That wouldn't really be fun if you're in Greenville, South Carolina for there wouldn't be a ton of Boise State fans probably could make that trip. So, yeah, you'd like to see Portland, maybe San Diego, maybe Dallas, probably in that order would be your first three priorities. I've seen Milwaukee in one of the projections. I've seen Indianapolis at one point, and then Joe Lenardi today had Greenville. So, yeah, we'll see. If they keep winning, maybe you'll start to get a little more preference. If they can get up to that 6 line, then you can probably try to get Portland or San Diego maybe if you can get on the 6 instead of the 7. So JD says there's some strategy going into the tournament, want to win, want the team to be healthy, ready to beat Nevada a third time. That's definitely the case. And I also think if you think you have found something that might work against Colorado State, like Jay was saying, on an inbounds play or something, maybe even just in general, a way to attack them, you might play Colorado State in the championship game again. So I don't think you go all out with every secret play and every secret thing just to try to beat Colorado State if you might play them again. So you want to win. Obviously, it'd be a huge win. You want to keep the momentum going. But I would be surprised if you see, all 5 starters play, 35 minutes. I think we see Pavle Kuzmanovic in this game. I think we see Lucas Milner in this game. I think they're going to Najee Smith, Max Rice. I think your bench guys are going to get some minutes in this game. Maybe even see a Kason Pryor. I think they're going to go hard. Your starters will still get their 25 to 30 minutes, but I think you're not going to see them push it extra hard. You want a healthy Abu Kijab. You want a healthy Emmanuel Akot in this tournament. So I don't think they're going to do anything to push them too much. Even though they do have the extra day, they don't play till Thursday next week. So, but it's going to be an interesting game. We'll see Boise State's motivation. We'll see their mental preparedness for this game. Obviously, we're partying deep into the night on Tuesday, cutting down the nets, celebrating that. They gave them Wednesday off, and they kind of came back Thursday to regroup. And so we'll see from that perspective, where they're at mentally heading into this game. Said the sellout in Colorado State, it's about 9,500 or so, I think, or just under 10,000. 9,000 to 10,000. So it's definitely smaller than Boise State's. Maybe it's only 8,000. I'm not exactly sure. It's a smaller arena for sure. So, but it is smaller, but it is going to be a sellout. It'll be packed. Josh asking, would you rather see Wyoming or UNLV on Friday? Well, again, you got to win Thursday first. And I'd actually, I'm not too crazy about the matchup with Nevada for them. So I would actually like to see New Mexico win that game if they could somehow against Nevada. We'll have to see how that game goes on Wednesday. I think you'd rather root for New Mexico first. And then in terms of if you win and you play Friday, Wyoming probably. I mean, it's scary to say, but, I guess UNLV. Now that I think about it, I guess UNLV. They're not going to have a huge home crowd. I think Boise State can beat them. I think Boise State can beat Wyoming too. I'll say this. I think Wyoming is a team you want to play in the semis over Colorado State or over San Diego State. Both those teams, I think San Diego State and Colorado State, you're happy not seeing either one of them until the finals. So I think that Wyoming, who you beat once at home and really could have beaten there, it was a tie game with like 3 minutes left, and you had Akot at 30% in that game. I think a healthy Akot, is a big difference maker. So I think Wyoming is probably actually the team you're okay seeing out of the top 4 or top 3, other than Boise State. But either one of those teams is fine. I think that's a little better draw for them. And then you can worry about Colorado State or San Diego State in the championship game if you're lucky to play there. Perry asking about the bench. And, yeah, we just talked about that, Perry. I do think the bench will play more in that game. There's just no reason to play your starters 35, 37 minutes and potentially get them hurt or tired. You want Emmanuel Akot fresh and ready to go. We have amazing players coming off the bench. Najee. So hope we see more of them. Yeah, Derek, we will see more of them. I agree with you on that. So going to be fun tomorrow. Spring football practice number 2 is tomorrow as well. I'll be missing that to head down to Colorado. I will be at the Moby Arena on tomorrow. Game, I believe, starts at 6:30. So somewhere around 6 o'clock, we'll have the live pregame show coming to you from Moby Arena, and then the postgame show as well from Moby Arena. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com. We have a promo code going, by the way, right now. I'll see if I can put it on the screen real quick if I can find it. But if you're on the fence about subscribing to Bronco Nation News, BNN Champs 45. BNN Champs 45 gets you a you know what? It might be 22. You better check that. BNN Champs 22 might actually be the promo. It's BNN Champs, and then it's either 22 or 45. I apologize for not knowing the number. But if you want to subscribe for $45, you get a discount for a year subscription to BroncoNationNews.com. We will end that probably at tip-off tomorrow. So BNN Champs, and then I'm embarrassed to admit I don't remember if it's 22 or 45 for the numbers. So try both. That gets you a discount down to $45. Tanner asking about limited minutes might apply to CSU also. No, it's a bigger game for CSU. It's senior night. They want to get the number 2 seed in the tournament. They're also trying to help their NCAA tournament seed. It's a quad 1 game for CSU. It's a bigger game for CSU, so I don't think they'll do anything to limit their guys. I could be wrong, but I think they go all out to try to win this game. Favorite road venue in the Mountain West? That's a good one. I guess I'll say Viejas Arena. I love San Diego. It's one of my favorite cities in the world, so I guess I'll say Viejas because that place is usually packed and jumping, and always a good game, always a good atmosphere, always a fun time at Viejas Arena. Other ones, don't mind UNLV, like UNLV. That's a fun one to go to because it's Vegas too. Colorado State's a fun one. The arena's, obviously nothing special. But I would probably trying to think what other good ones there are in the league. Not a huge fan of Wyoming, not a huge fan of Air Force, San Jose, Reno. The venue itself is fine in Reno. Not a huge fan of the city itself, but that's a good question. I would probably rank it San Diego first. That would probably be my favorite one, and then probably UNLV second. The arena is nothing special. It's big, but it is what it is. But can't say you don't like a trip to Vegas, which will be crazy to get 2 in a span of 10 days or whatever here. And speaking of Vegas, we already mentioned it once, but if you just jumped on at some point in the middle of the show, join us, please, on Wednesday, March 9th. That's Wednesday next week. Boise State plays Thursday at noon. So if you're coming in Wednesday, the night before the tournament, we'll be at the Overhang Bar at Circa Resort and Casino on Fremont Street. That's up on the 3rd floor. The Blue Collar Club will be there taking donations for the BAA. We got some rally towels and stuff to give away. There's going to be some ICCU sunglasses, some other stuff. We're going to do a raffle for a T-shirt drawing, I believe, that we have. So we got some stuff to do, and I believe they're making a special drink, some sort of blue drink in honor of Boise State and the Blue Field and the Broncos. They're going to have a special discounted rate for us as well there. So just remember, you have to be 21 to enter. So if you're bringing kids down, unfortunately, you cannot come. This is one of the few casinos that don't even allow you in the entire casino or hotel part, even if you're not 21. So 21 and up for the fan party. Hopefully you can make it there. Want to thank Discount as well. HelloDiscount.com. It's a new, if you want mortgage company here. It's an online mortgage company, and it's based out of Meridian. It's a national company, though, again. So lower rates. You can refinance your home, whether it's cash out refinance, whatever you're looking to do. The rates are, just see if you can do better than what you currently have. You'd probably be surprised. And it's an easy online process. HelloDiscount.com. And appreciate their support also of Bronco Nation News and Timberstone Golf Course as well. I was out there playing the other day. Don't want to divulge my score or the details. It did not go very well, but the course is in great shape for early March. So play Timberstone.com. You can set up your tee time there, and we're going to have our Bronco Nation News Golf Tournament out there June 3rd. June 3rd will be the Bronco Nation News Golf Tournament. So keep that on your calendar. Save the date. And we're looking forward to that as well. I mentioned the pregame show tomorrow. We'll have the gift card giveaway as we always do. The James Whiskey and Cocktails. Come on to the pregame show and just guess the score. Give us your score prediction during the pregame show, and whoever gets the closest, we'll be reaching out to you. You get a $25 gift card to the James Whiskey and Cocktails. It's a great spot right there across from Boise State, so hopefully you'll go check that out if you haven't been there. Darren College is one of the part owners of that, and it's an awesome spot. There's a patio that I think is just going to be popping this spring and summer. Sit out there on the patio and have a drink and watch a game. So right by BSU, and so the James, we'll see on the pregame show, $25 will get you that gift card if you have the closest score. And don't forget about our YouTube channel as well. BNN Champs 22, by the way, someone is saying is the promo code. So please subscribe on youtube.com/Bronco Nation News. We've got all the football coaching interviews from yesterday. We'll get Scott Matlock and George Holani full interviews up there today as well. If we just talked to them. So we'll be dumping daily interviews, highlights, all kinds of stuff to the YouTube channel, as well as where you can watch these live videos. So please subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's the easiest way to find our content, youtube.com/Bronco Nation News. We appreciate that. And BNN Champs 22, I've been told, is the promo code BNN Champs 22. So again, the Broncos were out at football practice today, the first practice of spring football. They'll be back on the practice field tomorrow, and then they'll go every other day for the next 2 weeks before spring break. So Monday, they'll be out there as well. So we'll have football practice tomorrow. We got the basketball game. So a ton to cover at Bronco Nation News, bronconationnews.com, and we'll have you covered. So hopefully you're considering a subscription. Again, use that promo code BNNChamps22, and you can get a full year for just $45. That's $25 off the original price. So a ton going on in Bronco Athletics. Appreciate you guys for checking us out. And again, we'll have the live pregame show from Moby Arena in Fort Collins tomorrow about 6 o'clock or so. We'll have the postgame show as well. And then we're heading to Las Vegas. Full coverage down in Las Vegas of the tournament, and then we'll be traveling wherever the Broncos go for the NCAA tournament as well. So a lot going on in Bronco Athletics. We appreciate your support, and hope you are enjoying what you see at Bronco Nation News, bronconationnews.com. Thanks for checking us out today, the midday edition with Jay Tust, and we'll be back again live on the social media channels, the YouTube channel, bronconationnews.com, from Moby Arena in Fort Collins as Boise State wraps up the regular season, 6:30 tomorrow night against Colorado State. Have a good Friday night, Saturday, and we'll talk to you from Fort Collins tomorrow. This is BJ Rains with Bronco Nation News, bronconationnews.com.